Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be going through my pick'ems for the America's Ascension playoffs. I'm just going to go through every game, giving you my prediction of who I think is going to win. I'm not going to try hard these as much as I did my Tokyo pick'ems, which didn't end up doing very well, at least in the playoffs. The groups were pretty good, but when it came to playoffs, it was just awful. But I'm just going to go by feeling pretty much, like who I think is going to win. Um, and yeah, I didn't do one of these videos like for the beginning of each Ascension tournament just because I didn't really know too much about the Brazilian or the LATAM teams, and I really didn't know too much about the EMEA or Pacific teams either. Um, I don't think I'm going to make a video for both of those regions, but I do encourage you to go check those out because the games that I've watched from both of them were very entertaining and actually fairly high level, at least for EMEA. Some of the Pacific ones are pretty bad. But yeah, America's my favorite tier 2 region. I think the Brazilian scene, from what I watched before, was really fun. And NA has been fun for me, like ever since the beginning of Valorant. So should be an interesting bracket. I also didn't do one on groups just because the group stage didn't matter. It was just seeding pretty much. So without further ado, let's get right into it. All right. So to start here, I don't even know if the pick'em's open. We have 0 Nation versus Fusion. 0 went 1-1 in the group with the Guard and 9Z, where I think 9Z is a decent team, and Guard is probably playing the best so far out of all the teams here. Obviously, Union is also 2-0, and M80 is still M80. And we'll have to see how they perform down the line, but I do think they are the best so far. And then Fusion, I think I started going to 0. Fusion went 0-2 in the group with Union and M80, which are the two favorites coming into the tournament. I think for me it was the Guard and M80, but because I was told the Brazilian teams weren't as good, um, but the Union has proved to be very good. So I am going to favor 0 Nation here, and I'm going to give it to them, just because Fusion, even though they were in the harder group, I don't think played as well as 0 Nation did. I also have a lot of faith in the 0 Nation players, especially I don't know if it's I don't even know how to pronounce it. I swear it was Jandi, Xand, or however the hell you pronounce it. I don't know. Feel free to correct me in the comments below. Um, but I have a lot of faith in him. I thought he was really good on crew, and was kind of unfairly replaced, but also it was Kesnet that was replacing him, so I didn't really have too much of a problem with it. Also, how the hell do I have 25 points from pickups? I guess I did group stage pickups, but didn't record anything for it. Um, but yeah, I think they should beat Fusion in this game. And then M80, 9Z, I think M80 is going to perform a lot better than they did in groups. I think they did kind of realize that the group stage was not important and tried not to show too much other than that new fracture comp, just to kind of try it out. I could see them swapping back to a different one now that they lost to the Union on that first map. But we'll just have to see. They also got like their land jitters out, which they definitely had in that first map against the Union, and kind of a little bit down the line in the Pearl map, but they seem to fix it against Fusion. But again, we'll just have to see. I know 9Z was pretty decent, but I would definitely favor M80 here. And then the Union 0 Nation, the number 1 and number 2 Brazilian teams. I'm going to take the Union. Went 2-0 in groups, looked really, really good. And yeah, they beat 0-0 pretty consistently in Brazil, and I think they'll continue to do that here. And then the Guard and M80. I think most people going into this tournament would have predicted M80 to beat Guard here in this game, but or I think they would have probably predicted the two teams to have flipped, where M80 is coming in as the 1 seed out of their group, and the Guard is coming in from this game where M80 is. So expectations are a little flipped, and it's really hard to pick this game. And originally, when I did this to like just go through beforehand, I picked M80, but I'm actually going to take the Guard here. I think that land experience is going to be very valuable for them, and M80 has not been consistently like good in these high pressure moments. Like you remember back to like the playoffs of Stage 2 last year in NA, where M80 kind of choked, or at least the ghost players from M80. My bad, like Nismo, John QT, and Koala. They did not play up to their standard in that game, or in those games. I think I don't know if it was 1 or 2 games for them. Um, but yeah, I believe in the guard here. They have the lane experience. I just got done watching their game against, I think it was Fusion, or was no, it was 9Z. I just talked about the groups against 9Z, and they were just shit talking the whole game, and it was so much fun. Um, and yeah, I just like the vibes of this team right now. And then M80 Fusion, I'm gonna take M80. Pretty easy pick there. I don't really need to explain too much probably. And then 0-0 versus 9Z. I do have some faith in 9Z, but again, the same reason that I had them beating Fusion, I'm going to take 0-0 Nation over 9Z. And then we'll do the upper final first because that one's a little bit harder. I'm actually going to take the Union in this game. I think the first game up against the Guard, they play really weird with a lot of aggression. I'm going to take that playstyle in a first time matchup against the Guard. And yeah, I think they should be able to get this and get the double map advantage in the grand final. And then M80 0-0. This is tough because I don't want to get called NA bias by having the two NA teams in the top 3, but I just don't see any of these LATAM teams making it deep. And I don't think 0-0 Nation is going to win this specific game, so I'm going to take M80 on this one. And I'm not going to change what I think is going to happen based on what comments might say, so because that would be kind of dumb. And then the guard M80. I'm going to take guard in the rematch again in the BO5. I know last time these two teams played, M80 won. Actually, no, I think M80 gets the lower bracket run. Yeah, the guard historically, outside of like Optic in 2022, like early in that year, have not been good in BO5s. Like, I mean, I guess they've only played 2 other ones, right? Against M80 in the upper bracket. I guess they beat MXM in the lower bracket on that, but they beat M80, or they lost to M80, sorry. They played M80 and lost. And then they played 100 Thieves in NALCQ and lost that. And I just think M80 is going to win the rematch here and kind of prove themselves as the NA top dog. And then I'm also going to take them to beat the Union in the grand final, as they've played them once already. And we'll kind of have a bit more of a read on how they play. The Union have really good individual players, and when they're on, they're playing really well. Very similar to Furia, except for Furia is more dependent on DGZin, where the Union is just like a whole thing where they don't make the best decisions. But if their individuals are hitting, those decisions win them the round. But I think if M80 kind of gets the read on that and Union doesn't have as great of a day, I think M80 should be able to take that game. And with that, that's my pick'ems. I know Brazilian fans might get upset at this, but come at me in the comments. I don't care. I have a lot of faith in both of these NA teams, and I really think this could be an NA grand final if the Union doesn't perform up to their group standard. But we just don't know. So, yeah, with that, if you guys enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe, even if you disagreed. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.